Hello, and welcome to a new review video. My name is Brian Wheeler. I have a straw in my mouth because while I was in the army, I had like heat stroke or something happened to me. Don't know what. Trying to still find out. But can't talk right unless I'm biting down on something. So that's why this. Other than that. So moving on. All right. This video is about Spy Family, the big phenomena that took over the world seemingly for a while in the past few years, whatever thing. Came out in 2021 or 22, 2022. Uh, I think when I started hearing about it, it's like, or the anime stuff. The manga was coming out a couple years beforehand, but the anime came out prior. And I was like, I mean, afterwards. And I was like, what is all this Spy Family stuff? What it is set in a Cold War era type thing, so like 1960s, 1970s type of thing. It follows a spy who has to, in order to get close to like a target who's kind of maybe stirring the flames of war between these two nations of Estania and Westalis. He's got to get close to him and find out, what can he do to stop it and everything. But the only way to do that is to get a fake family. He has to enroll a child into a prestigious school in order to get close to the children so he can get close to the father. Because he's hoping the child can get 8 Stella Star, which is like a high achievement thing in order to become Imperial Scholar, which the guy is known for appearing at. That's about the only way he has to try to even approach him or anything like that. But in order to have a child, he has to have a wife too. So he has to procure a wife. So it's a fake family that's assembling. Now, the child he gets from a very rundown orphanage and everything named Anya. It was a meme face template with everything and how she's drawn and stuff. Whereas his wife is Yor Briar, who is a type of she's just regular secretary and stuff. She's not too bright and everything like that, but she is super strong and super athletic and everything because secretly she's an assassin. A very, very dangerous assassin. And even Anya is a telepath. She can read everyone's minds because some sort of experiment stuff that she went through. And none of them know this about each other. The only one who knows anything about any of them is Anya because she could read yours and Lloyd's minds. But they don't know of anything about her ability. Yor tries to keep her secret from Lloyd, and Lloyd tries to keep his secret from the family. And he's like, this is not a real family, this is all a mission thing. But they're all using it as a way of trying to, to their own, hiding their own secrets and everything like that. So it just becomes a very interesting type thing of like, okay, it's a fake family, but can they learn what it really means to be a family? And also, it gives a stipulation of like, could they actually become a real family? Could the marriage between Lloyd and Yor actually be real? Which we'll see. Or will it be a very terrible, sad ending? Which you could lead into that in some ways. I've seen different people theorizing how the series will go. So that's good. But I heard about it a few years ago and I was just like, okay, let me try checking it out. I didn't know exactly what side to look it on. I saw some clips that people posted of the initial episodes on YouTube, and that's how I watched it at first. And then I know there was a new season, or it was like part 2 of the season. It's kind of weird, so I watched a little bit of that, but then went on deployment, couldn't do anything. And I found out, oh, it's on Crunchyroll. I tried getting Crunchyroll when I was over on deployment in Europe, but it wouldn't allow me to do anything. It was weird, so I was like, well. But now since I'm back, I'm like, oh, I could do this actually. So I've gotten, I went and got Crunchyroll, and I binge watched the entire show. Like literally the entire thing over the past week. I've binge watched the entire thing. I just kind of like been working on my puzzles and other stuff, and now it's all here. And I was like, oh, cool. So that's the cool and good thing about it. Now, you don't need me to tell you about the show because you probably already know about the show, but it's an awesome show. It really is. It has a lot of action, but also a lot of heart because, this guy is a spy. He's got to stay cool and all the time. He's got to be and everything, but he's doing it because he remembers, his motivation is like he doesn't want to have a world where kids cry anymore. And Anya being, the innocent little kid, he's trying to, do everything for her and also trying to he wears himself to the bone trying to do all these things and see the motivation with Yor, like how she was doing all this for her brother. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Her brother's the Secret Service, or like the secret, SS, Gestapo type of thing. This communist region kind of favors and everything, what it kind of represents. And he's keeping that a secret from Yor because he doesn't want her to worry, and she keeps the fact that she's an assassin away from him because she started doing that because she needed to support her family because the Civil War, the well, not Civil War, but well, it might have been Civil War, but the war that kind of was between the two nations literally wrecked everyone's lives. You know, Yor losing her parents, Lloyd seemingly losing his. So it's all these things of trying to keep, keep the family and stuff together in whatever way they can. Of course, there's a lot of comedy with Anya being able to read everyone's minds and misunderstanding situations and stuff and trying to get things her own way, and her being mischievous and trying to get close to second son Damien. Thing is, she's, spoiler, she's probably a little bit younger than actually everyone is because he's saying, I need a child about 6, and she says, oh yeah, I'm 6. And she's like, probably 4, actually, maybe 5. But I was just kind of like, I wonder if they're going to discuss her birthday. Not when she was actually born, but what day is her birthday? Is it in fall time, winter time, springtime? I'm guessing so far from the show, it looks like it's going to be a springtime birthday because he enrolled her in the fall, so it has to be in the springtime sometime. So they have to discuss on his birthday for like a new season or something. I mean, that would be something to look at. But you see, a lot of comedic stuff. Plus, she's not really a dunce. She's just not wise to everything because she's always stays, to herself. She's just not. She feels awkward about everything and stuff. But the partial part of that is because she's an assassin. She tries to keep everyone away, but she's just not good with cooking. She's not good with everything like that. She gives off a little bit of, like Tifa Lockhart vibes with, just kind of like that sweet nature and everything, but she'll freaking mess you up if you do anything. So she's scary in that. But it's just kind of interesting and everything. The show goes from a very, comedic type thing with the kids and just the situations going on, just like, oh man, to very, very serious, everything is in danger or going to die very quickly in the moments that are going on with the show. Like, beginning of season 2, or not season 2, I call it season 2, but it's the second half of season 1, where they're just doing there's a bomb threat, and they gotta try to solve the bomb threat, or else it's possible it might start off war and everything, and it's very serious during that time, what all that's going on and everything. And then you have episodes where it's just trying to get Scruffy Head, the guy who's kind of like the informant and everything, to helping Lloyd, a bunch of tips for trying to make a date or whatever. So it's just kind of like, It has that kind of contrast with everything, but I want to call it season 3. But season 2, you really get into Yor's motivation for wanting to be an assassin, all her being an assassin on the cruise line, trying to protect the family diplomat type thing. It gets really serious with all that, and of course Anya saves the day. It actually had one of the better episodes, one of my favorites also in this season, with Yuri, Yor's brother, having to deal with a guy who's, he's taking propaganda pictures and selling them off to someone that spread propaganda about Estonia and everything, and you see the kind of motivation of him spying on the guy, but the guy's not really liking the idea that he's spying everything, but he's trying to do it because of his father's situation and the money and everything. And it's just kind of like, that's interesting, that whole political type thing. It's honestly one of the better episodes of the show, because there are some episodes you could say are quote unquote filler. I would say like the whole thing, like one of the last episodes of this season with Becky being like all over Yoid, wanting to like marry him and stuff like that. I know from the point of view is like, oh, all the kids pretty much of the school are high up officials' children that he can gather intel on and everything. I mean, that is part of the motivation for having the show, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, so, but, oh, if you ask me, yours favorite, but also Handler, the Iron Lady Sherwood and everything, she definitely probably my favorite on the side of the show, but she's not. Out of a lot of shows, she's the one that's like, you don't really want to mess with. It's not it's not Lloyd, it's her. I mean, going back to that bomb thing, she knocks a guy's tooth out with her heel, and she gives a monologue speech that's just kind of like chills you to the bone. It's just like, dang. So she's definitely just like, goodness. And you have this other character, Nightfall, who's acts all tough, but deep down she's cringes because she wants to marry Lloyd and be the wife and supposed to like Yor, and it's just like, no, Yor's the better option for him because she's actually bringing out, a humanity side to him, as opposed to him just playing humanity because he's a spy. He's actually starting to show humanity, and there might be actually be some undercurrent feelings he might actually have for Yor, and same thing for Yor for him. So it's just kind of like, well, they won't they type thing. So show is great. It's got a lot of different stuff, and it does have a lot of little moments. Again, like in season three, season two, like the boys, Damien and his two lackeys at school. Damien's the son of, or second son of the target, goes on this kind of like field trip adventure with this former Navy guy from that works at the school, and just guy time and everything, going out bonding and everything, fishing and stuff. And it's like, I know you could say it's almost like a filler episode, but it's a good filler episode. It's just like it's also like a little moment, almost like that, where sometimes it feels like it's leading something. It gives a lot of fleshing to the world because it also gives fleshing to the fleshing out the headmaster because he's like, I need these boys to do something, not to be. Yes, he wants them to be elegant and everything, but he's also wanting them to be kids and be people, and he treats them as such. And then wanting them to see what's going on with all that. He's just little ways how it fleshes out all the characters and everything around him, and it's just a unique way of doing it all. I know I complained about the Blecky Backwell thing that episode. I was just like, what is going on in this? But same time, you're getting things with like her and Anya's friendship and when everything goes on, and it's good. Those moments and everything, you see the stuff with the kids, yeah, it's ridiculous in some ways, but other times it's like, what, it actually means a lot. So you can't really complain, despite sometimes how cringe it gets. It's just like, Becky, 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 stop. So, but yeah, Spy Family. Go watch it if you haven't. And I look forward to definitely seeing more. There's a movie that already came out in Japan, but it's supposed to come out seemingly internationally in English in April? I think in April. And I look forward to seeing that. So, because I'm curious what happens. Seemingly from what the plot is, like they want to replace. Seemingly the plot is they want to replace Lloyd Twilight. That's his code name, and it's like, why would they want to replace him when he's the best spy? But anyway, I'll see you in the next one and everything, and I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.